Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fabio Palvelli. I'm a designer, and on this channel every week I share a little bit of my life on video, as well as tips and tricks on how to be a better designer, a better visualizer, and a better person. At least I hope. Now, before we start, do not get all hateful on me. The title of this video will make sense in a minute. Just watch the whole thing and then make up your mind. Quite a few comments under my YouTube videos are from ArchViz artists that had negative experiences with their clients. Many complaints are about the low prices that clients are willing to pay for images. It seems to me that the ArchViz industry is split in two halves, with a small portion of people running successful businesses or freelance gigs on one side, and the other half that it's continuously struggling to make ends meet. Those who seem to struggle almost don't believe me when I talk about pricing for services. They hear 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 per image and they say, how is that even possible? And don't get me wrong, these are guys sometimes artistically really talented, but that unfortunately don't manage to charge more than 50 or 60 euros per picture, sometimes even less. For many of these guys, it is hard to believe that there is such a huge gap, and probably even more, it is hard for them to understand why. If you run an ArchViz business or a 3D business, a creative business, you need a lot of money to pay for software. You have to pay for powerful computers, you need to pay for 3D assets, bills, office space, networking. You need to pay for all the things that you need in order to make your business grow. The problem very often is that the smaller artists think that all these variables do not apply to them, because maybe they live in a poor country, or they pirate software, or maybe they work out of their own garage on a laptop. If you happen to be one of these guys, then tell me, how do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10, maybe even 15 years? I'm not trying to patronizing you, I'm just trying to raise your awareness as a person and as a professional. What do you want for your career? Do you think that your current professional situation will support your dreams in the future? Do you have any specific strategy in mind, or are you planning to just keep on working with your bad conditions and waiting for things to eventually get better? In that case, I hate to burst your bubble, but as Rick Page once said, hope isn't really a strategy, and myself, after being in this business for a while, I can say that I agree strongly with that statement. Now, I can't really tell you what is the right way to go on about your career. Everyone has a different story and everyone manages to do things in different ways, proving the theory that there is not necessarily right or wrong in life. However, you can still get smarter by avoiding mistakes that maybe others have already made. And this is why channels like mine exist. I made many mistakes in my life, but I also did some really good things. Maybe sharing my story with you can help you understanding what mistakes you can avoid. When I was in university in London, I started making renders for students. It paid very well. I was making very decent money, but it was never something that I saw as a career. I still wanted to become an architect. 3D at the time was something I was good at. It was a geeky passion of mine, but nothing more. When I moved from London to Austria to do my master, I started facing issues. In Austria, no students were willing to pay the good money I was paid in London for making renderings. So I had to find a job. I could not speak German, so my chance to find employment was very low. A lot of my colleagues found jobs in architecture offices, and that was something that everyone would tell me to do, also because otherwise it would have been very difficult for me to get a job after finishing my master's study. So as you can understand, I was under a lot of pressure, and I was ready to get anything that would have come my way. I was actually quite desperate. At the same time, I was getting more and more insecure about my career in architecture because my love for making images was getting bigger and bigger. Unfortunately, the only jobs available during summer were internships in design offices, which were unpaid. And as much as I found those attractive from a professional perspective, they did not tackle my main problem, which was making money in order to survive during the winter when I had to go back to university. Now, given that I do not come from a very wealthy family and the support I could get from my parents was not enough, the economical aspect of getting an internship was for me still the main issue. So I started to look into alternatives. I thought, maybe I can wait tables at a restaurant. I hate that with all my heart, but I will do it. In the desperation of finding a job, I even printed out some flyers offering myself as an Italian tour guide in Vienna. And thank God nobody called, because apparently this is illegal in Austria. Then the sister of my girlfriend and my girlfriend found these jobs in Norway, working as tour guides. And as much as I did not like the idea to have to leave Vienna for the summer and have to go up north to stay in a small village, Norwegian cold with a lot of rain, the wage offered was 3, maybe 4 times what I could have earned in Vienna working in an architecture office as an intern. So I did it. Now, I'm not saying that the tour guide job was bad, but as any other guy dreaming of pursuing a specific career, it was disappointing for me not to work in my own field because I needed to make money. I was scared to steer away from the profession, and maybe rightfully so. But luckily, I didn't. And now I understand in retrospective, having money saved up during my studies kinda empowered me. All of a sudden, all these cheap internships offered in the small Viennese architecture offices looked like a scam to me. I was like, why do I have to work for these architects for free? It's not like I need the extra experience. In London, I never worked for free as an architect. Why should I start now? Just because this is the Austrian tradition of getting a job, or because my colleagues suggest me to do so? So if this was the only deal available, then why don't I just keep working as a tour guide to make money, and at the same time I make some architectural competitions instead in my free time? So I did. I started making projects with friends and fellow students. I never won anything, but my images were getting better and better. And even more important, they started being recognized by other designers, which wanted to collaborate, and eventually by clients as well. So I started to get some inquiries. That eventually led to my first job in Austria. Not the best job, but it was a semi-ArchViz job somehow, where I learned a lot. Now, because I liked working in ArchViz so much, I started getting involved with the community. I was writing a blog, I did all sorts of things like organizing workshops, meetups, and because of all these activities I got noticed by the university, and the university ended up hiring me. Forward 7 years, I am now the co-founder of the D2 in Vienna. I have a consulting business that works with award-winning design studios. I worked on some of the coolest projects that I would have never thought I could. Okay, where am I going with this? If I did not have the financial freedom to do all these things, and again, a financial freedom that came as the result of me putting my ego aside, taking a different job from what I was supposed to, I cannot really imagine what I would be doing right now. Okay, I will try to get to the point, and I'll try to give you some sort of positive message, because I honestly think that this could be the key to unlock your true potential. If you're getting paid less than minimum wage for making images, what is the value that you're getting out of this? The experience? But then again, can experience sustain your business for the rest of your life? How much experience do you need to collect before you're able to pay your bills? How much experience do you need before you can be treated with respect by your clients? My take on this is stop making decisions based on what your ego is telling you, and start making decisions that make sense economically and strategically. Don't force yourself to work in something that you love if that something doesn't love you back. If making images doesn't allow you to sustain yourself economically first, how can you find the mental stability to develop further as an artist? Stop doing that. Put ArchViz aside for a while, get yourself a job that gives you the possibility to build the economical environment you need in order to foster your talent. Stay focused. Remember that this situation is only momentary. It will be hard. You will have 6 months, maybe a year, maybe even longer. You'll be doing a job that you might not necessarily like, and you will have no weekends, no time to go out partying, because you'll have to use your free time to work on your portfolio. And you won't be able to spend money. Actually, you will have to save money for you to move to a better city that offers better possibilities. In fact, one of the biggest complaints I get from you guys is that where you live, there are no jobs and no one is interested in what you do. Great. My response to that is that you have to change this. Otherwise, this will be the good excuse you will always use to justify your failure. This should be your main priority. Move somewhere where you can get work. Don't move to do freelance work. Move to get a job in an ArchViz studio. Some of the reasons why you might have failed until now, being paid too little or being trashed by your clients, might be linked to the fact that you don't have enough business knowledge related to the industry. So do not try to start your own business without working in an office before. Get a complete understanding of how this whole thing works. God knows, maybe you as an artist are only interested on the creative aspect of the job, and working in an office instead of running your own gig completely by yourself will provide you with that creative freedom that you struggle to find when working on your own. Look, I know this might be a bit of a harsh advice, and maybe what I'm suggesting might not respect the path that you had programmed for your dreams. And it's true, I don't know your story, and I might not know you well enough to say for sure that this is going to work. What I can say is that I walked away myself. I know that there are obstacles along the road, and I know that it can be difficult and probably will be difficult. But I also know that despite everything, it is still your responsibility to do everything in your power to make this happen. Look, it's actually really easy to open a profile on Fiverr or Upwork and bid your services for really cheap. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it might work, but I can tell you almost for sure, most times, unfortunately, you will find clients that mainly use these platforms because they only want that type of cheap service. As a result, you might never be happy about your work and you will only complain about your clients. The real challenge is, how do you create a business that works independently from these platforms? How do you put yourself in a position in which your client comes to you, not because you're cheap and they can treat you however they like, but rather because you are you, and what you do is providing an outstanding service that it's worth thousands of dollars. So now the question is, who do you want to be? The cheap guy or the $1,000 guy? The choice at this point really is only yours. See you guys next time.